5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And hello, here we are. We are here on a very special day. We finally got our chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine. We got to see that today. We're going to try and do a spoiler-free review. Maybe in the near future, maybe we'll go into a little bit more spoiler-heavy. That's going to be a couple weeks away because I am not one that likes to spoil a movie. How about you?
I don't like spoiling movies either.
This is my kid right here. His channel on YouTube, TikTok is what? Makeup by Frankie?
TikTok.
TikTok, that's your TikTok. Do you still have your YouTube?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Atlas. Thank you for giving us the well wishes. So we're here, and yeah, we just got done this wild ride of a movie. I mean, it leaves me both curious, but it leaves me both a little bit weary. This really feels like Deadpool's Endgame. This really feels like how Marvel went through Endgame going into the multiverse saga, and we know, because, well, the movie hints at this, that the multiverse saga has been lackluster. So we are at a point here where I feel like we're going to go through the same thing with Deadpool if they're not careful, where they throw a lot at you. No cursing. You're going to give us a hard time for the next 5 minutes, aren't you?
I don't necessarily think it was a lot coming at you. Okay? What I think it is if you're old and you're modest, don't watch it.
Well, that's the same with any Deadpool movie.
If you're young and in your 20s and you like partying, watch it. It's pretty funny. It's not a lot to throw at ya.
Well, I read an article recently.
And cursing, well...
I read an article about, what was that, about 4 days ago, where the director came out and said that they threw a lot of false cameos that they were filming, but they threw a lot of misinformation out there, which I will agree with. But he also said that every cameo in the movie had a beginning, middle, and end. Every character that they cameo in the movie has a direct point in why they're there, what they're doing. The motivations are clear. I'm not going to go into the characters and try not to spoil any of that, but Touchdown type of movie. Touchdown, I left there asking one question: when does the DVD release come out? Come on, man. This movie is like a comic book Bible. Like there's no way that the modern Marvel machine put this together. This is Ryan Reynolds' baby. The promotion material tells us just as much.
He got his hands on, I think, what the root of Deadpool really is. And well, let's just say he loves his guns.
The root of Deadpool. This movie makes the Fox Deadpool
lackluster.
It makes the Fox Deadpool look like a carbon copy. It makes it look like a cheap imitation of what Deadpool is in the comics. To what? Going in the holy spot on my shelf. I hear that. I don't see anyone over there on YouTube yet. So yeah, we are in a very interesting spot where Deadpool has a lot that they throw at you, because I think I can say this without being too spoiler heavy. This movie is a lot more than just Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a lot more of a overall goodbye to Fox's interpretation of what Marvel is. I mean, that's the best way I can put it without being spoiler, is that this is a goodbye to 20th Century Fox as the controlling arc to that character. And to all characters associated with Marvel. I mean, you can't. The movie compares. There's only two ways you can compare. If anybody out there has seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, another movie that emulates very well is Due Date. That movie came out quite a few years. Came out about 6. Maybe it might have even come out as long as 10 years ago. It was Robert Downey Jr. with Zach Galifianakis. They basically play a couple that doesn't want to be together, and it's just fun antics. And this movie is very much a ride with these two characters with a lot more knives and blood. My other Deadpool movies, my X-Men overall Marvel is top movies of all time beside Blade. Ooh. I can't speak to that. I can't. No. I'm not going to be talking about the other Marvel properties because there is just too much that... Thank you. There's too much at... This movie, you can tell there's a lot at stake. It feels heavy. It feels real. Wouldn't you agree?
It's intense.
This is not Deadpool 2. Deadpool 1, awesome as fuck movie. Deadpool 2, for me, was a bit on the slower side because they were trying to add a little bit of heart to the character, which overall is not a bad thing to have. Where the fuck was I going with that?
I don't know.
You just cut it. Let's go.
But I will say, one of my favorite parts was definitely the way the butler dressed him.
There's some threads. They pull from everything. I mean, they pull from, without being any direct, they pull from the Loki series. They pull from the previous Deadpool movies. I mean, Deadpool 1 was a great movie. Deadpool 2 was slow because of the love arc, but this Deadpool feels like the prime Deadpool. This feels like there is nobody else on this planet. Ryan Reynolds has once again solidified himself as the epitome of the merc with a mouth because of the fact that he just, I mean, my God, he knocks it out of the park. He really does. He really does. I mean, it's a masterpiece. I mean, coming from Marvel, coming from Marvel, which since Endgame has been on a downslope, it really, being on that downslope, this movie feels like a high point in the multiverse saga.
It does.
We'll leave that up to interpretation on which version, because I'm not going to say which version it was. Because I'm going to leave that open because, who knows? Could have been the MCU. It could have been somebody else. I mean, it could have been a completely different character or a completely different actor. Who knows?
It could have been.
But where I'm at with this movie is I'm afraid. I'm afraid of one thing, that they threw too much at this one and they left themselves no room to climb after this. And we know Marvel for a large part of the multiverse saga has been very confused, and with trying to find a new identity without Thanos and everything on top of it. And this is where I'm afraid Deadpool's going to land. I'm afraid Deadpool's going to end up falling flat because of the fact that coming out of a movie like this, I mean, they have where do they go? Where do they go after this?
A lot of work to have.
How does Ryan Reynolds, with his interpretation of Deadpool, meld into the larger MCU? that's the question we have to ask ourselves, because if they meld him into any other project, are they going to give him the kind of freedom with the language that he uses, or are they going to have other ways of censoring him out that are going to keep the character interesting?
They'll definitely keep him interesting.
I mean, if you want a man movie of the year, Deadpool versus Wolverine is it. It's the man movie. It is the movie, hands down. It's going to be the movie of the summer, Oscars, Grammys. I don't care what I'm calling it. It's going to fucking take at least half the awards from next award season. It has a killer soundtrack. Once again, they have. I mean, just the movie is just fantastically paced. I mean, it plays jokes on all of the variations of characters that, well, frankly, are just weird. There are so many cameos in this. I mean, it just really is one after the other, but they make everything seem so seamless. You want to throw anything else out there?
No, I don't think I have anything else.
We're going to go through and do a spoiler review at another time, but for now, that is our general opinion of Wolverine versus Deadpool. I'd say, what would you give it out of 10?
Huh?
What would you give it out of 10?
I would give it a 9.
For a Marvel movie, I'll give it a 10. For a property of Marvel Studios, regardless of 20th Century Fox's name might be on it or whatever the case might be, it's a 10 for a Marvel movie. But as far as general movies, I'd have to say it's a 9.8 in my book.
Yeah.
It's a 9.8 in a general movie sense, but in a focus towards comic book movies, I think this might very well go down as the greatest comic book movie of all time. If not the greatest, it's going to go down as the most accurate comic book movie of all time. Because, I mean, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, I knew they would be fire on screen. I saw the promotional stuff coming up to it, and they don't disappoint. Not one bit. Went a lot of directions I thought it would go, and went a lot of directions that you really can't expect. Yeah, that's about where we're going to end it here, because I really don't want to give away any spoilers. Until next time, I've been the Unloaded One.
And I've been...
TikTok, Makeup by Frankie?
Yeah, let's go with that. Your editor/producer.
And until next time, I'll see you guys later.